Rockeyez would like to welcome Jimi Bell, House of Lords, Maxx Explosion. Hey, man, what's up? What's going on?
Brian, it's a pleasure to be on Rockeyez again. I miss you, man. How's everything going with you?
Very good, very good. Do you get any downtime?
Yeah, I do have downtime. I walk. I walk 4 miles every day. That's my downtime. So, no, I do. There's plenty, but lately it's been crazy. You know, well, I'm sure you're up on a lot of stuff on my pages on Facebook and stuff like that. You know, I had that whole scare with prostate cancer and everything. Well, not scare. I actually had it, So, I had that health issue, and I went through all that. I had to go through radiation because they didn't get all the cancer. So, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that went on this year.
Right.
And in the year before, James had prostate cancer, too. So, I mean, there was a bunch of, it's kind of funny that two members of the same band actually, had that same thing. But, I mean, that took a little while to get things rolling back, and, but I mean, I've had a really good year for songwriting, and on all these other music projects and everything have just evolved this year and stuff. So I'm really pleased with everything.
Cool. Now you just released Maxx Explosions Forever on Kibble Records recently, and I've been listening to some of the songs. Devil Locomotive, what a great song,
Oh, yeah, thanks. Now it's funny, like a lot of this stuff. With the exception, there is a bunch of new ones on there, but a lot of the material that I always do, I always write everything thinking for House of Lords. Like I'll write stuff. Like me and BJ will get together, and I'll give him all most of the riffs, and he'll come in and add his things in. But usually when we get together, it's for stuff for James,
right.
And he'll pick and weed through whatever he wants, and then or something he just says, no, that's not right for me or whatever. So this happened to be Devil's Locomotive was a track that was from 2 recording sessions ago.
Wow.
I think we did it, and I gave it to Chris, and he immediately came up with that whole thing for Devil's Locomotive, which is good. So it's an advantage. I mean, with all the other projects going on now, it's like whatever material gets written, it seems to all be getting used. There's a lot of good stuff on the Maxx project. BJ wrote some great ballads. He has a niche for writing ballads for some reason. I can't figure it out. There's something. There's something deep inner inside BJ. I don't know what it is, but he did that, and it's pretty cool. Chris is doing great with all the stuff. It's fabulous.
Wow.
Fabulous.
Now, Don Dokken produced this CD with Chris, right?
Yeah, Don did a. I don't know how to word it properly. It was kind of like a co-producing. He added his hand on some of the songs. Like Chris, gave him the material, and Don made all kinds of suggestions. It was more on the vocal thing for Chris. It was more like I think he had more of a hand in the vocal part of it,
right?
Because Don's a singer. He didn't really touch the music as much as he worked with Chris on certain vocal things. He thought he should do. He made a lot of suggestions on it, and that was a big help. And it's really great that Don, gave us the authority to, have his name on the record. It's a wonderful thing. Great person.
Right. Now, Maxx Explosion. Did you do this as a side project, or was this actually a legitimate band?
Well, here's what happened. Maxx Explosion started out. Well, Chris, BJ, and myself had decided that let's just do a band together. After we got done with the last tour with House of Lords, we had gotten together a few times, and I went and sat in with Chris had a cover band going called Samurai Cab Company, and BJ was in it. They did a lot of strange material, though, weird things, but I would go and sit in with them once in a while, and we'd play House of Lords songs and whatever. So Chris decided, hey, let's do this project Maxx Explosion. Well, originally we started off that our intentions were we were going to be a cover band.
Right.
That's what Maxx Explosion was supposed to be, and we were going to do songs like by L.A. Guns and, just, things that, other people really like to hear and stuff. So, that type of music. And as soon as we got in a room, we never did one cover song. As soon as we got together, we started writing, and that's what the band became instantly. And I kind of had a feeling it was going to go in that direction because Chris writes great songs, and BJ's a writer, and I'm a writer, so it's like it was obvious that this is the direction that it was going to take place. And it just worked out really fast and really well, We had... a very strange first show. We had our first show, believe it or not, that we did was a disaster.
Wow.
We had all this hype for it, and it was, we had a sound man come in that we thought was going to be really good, and he didn't know the board well. Although he said that he could do all this stuff, and but it just ended up being a big disaster. Chris wasn't up feeling all that well. His voice was, cracking a bit. So this is our opening night of this thing. Luckily it was just an area show. It wasn't like a New York or anything
Right.
major. But it's still, there was a lot of people there. So, right away, that leaves a bad taste in people's mouth. The first show that we do, we're bombing. And, we had Fiona come down. She came down and got up and sang a few songs, and she couldn't hear well, so she was all messed up. And, the whole thing just did not go well. So we had to really redeem ourselves after first couple shows, and then it just really steamrolled.
Cool.
We were originally a four-piece. We had a second guitar player. But he had his own projects he was doing too, more of a blues guy,
Right.
And he didn't really fit the project too well. And we just figured, hey, we're actually House of Lords here without James.
Uh-huh.
So, why don't we just make this a three-piece thing? We'll put our we'll do it like we do in House of Lords. We have our keyboard, whatever keyboards sampled. We have them on backing tracks and stuff. We put, that's what we do. That's
Right.
what all the bands do. So it's not like it's a secret nowadays. People do that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Mostly all bands do that.
Yeah. It's you could put some backing vocals, make everything sound good. It's just like why not do it? Give the audience what they want to hear. As opposed to sitting there trying to, trying to do it on your own and not succeeding. It's like we all sing though. I'm
Right.
singing. I'm singing now more than I ever sang in my life.
Wow.
I am. I wear earplugs now, just so I can hear myself sing.
Right.
I used to only do a few parts in the House of Lords thing, so I didn't really need the earplugs as much.
Right.
Now, I have them in for the Maxx thing, and then I realized after rehearsing with House of Lords this past week, I'm going, geez, I should have been wearing an earplug all along. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. One earplug, I could hear my voice in my head. It's like, what? Okay,
Yeah.
What an idiot, So.
Wow. Now, Maxx Explosion, they're off to Melodic Rock 3, right?
Yes, we are. We're. It wasn't set up like this, really. I just told James yesterday that we were actually closing the festival. He looked at me kind of strange, and what it is that House of Lords has been booked on the Melodic Rock Fest for a long time.
Right.
They set up all the bands that were playing. John Kibble is a big part of the Melodic Rock Fest. Him and Andrew McNeese, they're doing the whole thing. So, I'll tell you what happened real quick as far as the Maxx Explosion thing. I'm talking with John Kibble. I have another project with me and BJ and Chris have another project with Joint Forces old singer Livio.
Uh-huh.
It's called Breakwall.
Okay.
That's coming. That's going to be coming out on Kibble Records. So we've been working with that, but it's taken a little longer than we anticipated. So I just said to John, I go, John, you should really check out Maxx Explosion. It's really good.
Right.
He goes, well, send me, so we have this one-page thing, that everybody has, an online promo package. Tells you all about the band and a few songs, And we said that to John, and John he calls me, goes, I'm 90% sure I'm going to sign the band, but I want to hear the rest of the material.
Right.
So Chris sent him over the whole record, and John would text me while I was giving some lessons, and he goes, I really like this. And I go, and I just simply said to him, I go, John, just sign it.
Right.
I go, the record is all done. It's not like he had to, like John would have to have it mixed. Chris already had the thing all mixed.
Right.
Chris does artwork for Dokken and all these other big bands. He's done all kinds of album covers. So Maxx Explosion's artwork was all done. Everything was done. So it was just a matter of John saying, okay, I'm going to sign this, and he puts his stamp on the back of it, and boom, it was done.
Wow.
And I just kind of made a suggestion. This was all at the very beginning of September, and I said, John, wouldn't it be cool if you signed this band and you debuted it at the Melodic Rock Fest? If we could get the CDs out that fast, I go, here you're going to have House of Lords there already, and then the three of us will be there. I go, you could just sell the CDs and everything, So he's got posters, T-shirts, all that. So a week ago, he calls me and goes, I got a big surprise. I go, what? He goes, you're closing the Melodic Rock Fest with Maxx Explosion. It's kind of like, wow. This guy's just pulling off all this stuff.
Wow.
And he's like that, though. John's one of these guys that because of his label, that when he likes to do that with his bands, he gets behind his bands and really pushes the hell out of them.
Cool.
And that's a wonderful thing.
Right. Yeah. That's definitely a great surprise for the fans too. Getting to see Maxx Explosion and and House of Lords. You get to see both.
Yeah, it was a big shocker for me. I'll tell you, I didn't. That was the last thing I thought he was. When he said, "I got a surprise for you," I didn't know that's what he was going to say.
Right
now, I'm really excited about it. I just think that it's so cool that he arranged that, and I thank him and Andrew. It's Andrew's deal here, and
right.
For Andrew giving his okay for us to do that. So, I just hope that. I'm really hoping that all the people stay. BJ and they all say they played a Fire Fest and stuff, and they said, these people stay to the end all the time. That's what they're there for. So
cool. Now tell me a little bit about the new House of Lords coming.
It's Brian. All I got to tell you, it's the best album that House of Lords has ever done, in my opinion, and James is even saying it. The material that's on this record, and now when I say this, I don't want any of the fans to think anything different.
Right.
It's definitely House of Lords, but it's heavier and more aggressive than before. It's there's a lot more up-tempo songs on this record, but all of it is still all sounds just like House of Lords. James's harmonies, the keys, his vocal lines, his structure. It's just that the lyrics are a little more intense. There's like a song called Raw and a song called Battle, and there's more. One song that I absolutely love is called Permission to Die.
Right.
And there's the words for these songs are fabulous. James hooked up with some really good people, lyricists and stuff that are helping him with things and stuff. It's going great.
Wow.
And as soon as I have something and I get permission, I can't wait for you to hear it, because you're going to be so impressed with it. I am. Every time he sends me something, I go, oh my God. It's like one of those records so far. It's like every song he sent me, I'm totally blown away. This last one that we just did, this last song he sent is called Epic.
Right.
And it was the words were written by this particular one he had help with Chris Peltzar, who wrote Rock Bottom.
Cool.
Off the World Upside Down record, and he wrote the title track World Upside Down. So Chris had his hand in this with James, and it's fabulous. Cool. It really is really cool song.
Will that be coming out this year?
I thought it was going to come out this year. James says it's coming out very early 2014, so it'll probably come out January because they're already booking the Europe tour for March. I think they're talking, and I guess we're supposed to be going out doing a bunch of dates with Robin Beck, with James's wife. We're supposed to be doing like a double thing, and then she's not going to. Then House of Lords is going to do a bunch on their own, and there's going to be festivals, all the whole thing. But I guess we're supposed to stay out there quite a bit longer. Robin's new solo CD is fabulous. I don't know if you heard it.
Yes, I did. Yep, it's great.
I did one song on there. The song I wrote was Perfect Storm.
Right.
And that one, once again, that was a House of Lords track. I sent that. That was the first one for this new record that I sent to James.
Right.
And Robin heard it, and I got to mention, she did a great job with it. Totally awesome what that how that song came out, and her record's really good. There's four songs on James's solo record, the one that just came out, and that were tracks that were sent to him for House of Lords that he had passed on originally, but then ended up using for his solo record. So, see how things, everything ends up being used somehow, one way or another.
Cool. Now at the Melodic Rock Fest, naturally House of Lords are playing and Maxx Explosion. Is it difficult to decipher between both bands, trying to remember the songs? I got to play with House of Lords, I got to play with Maxx. What goes through your mind?
Well, the only thing that's different, that's different between the two bands is our tunings. Maxx Explosion is tuned a full step down the way Motley Crue tunes.
Right.
So in other words, we're a whole step down from concert pitch. House of Lords is just a half step down, and in fact, a very tragic story was I was doing a Maxx Explosion show here in Connecticut, and I had my guitar tuned, not even thinking I had it tuned a half step higher. And as the intro was playing, I realized that the guitar was a half step higher. So I'm quickly trying to tune the guitar down. Instead of me stupidly just putting down the guitar I had on and picking up my spare,
right,
that was right there, I frantically was trying to tune the guitar. So the first song, needless to say, was a disaster, but we managed to get it fixed. No, House of Lords is very... it's two different things, James is world class,
right,
singer. So, there's two different types of style. Chris is more gutsy. He's got some really good stuff going on. I can't wait for you to hear the whole Maxx record because, Chris really did an outstanding job with the vocals on all of it. And we've had some really wonderful reviews that people are saying about the whole record.
Right.
Not just like a couple songs. They're really pleased with what Chris did, and so it's great to get to work with two separate things. House of Lords is just a wonderful project. It's been I did my first interview with you, Brian. So I've been with it since 2005 or 2006. I think was the first time we did something together, and. It's been a pleasure working with the band ever since. There is definitely a distinctive writing thing that James takes. So no matter what I give him, and he kind of you never know what he's going to take. Sometimes it's like I'll write something that I'll go, oh, James is going to love this. This is definitely a song for him, and it'll be something that he passes on. Wow. Sometimes if you think too hard when you're writing. If you try to write this is a House of Lords song, it's not what he's looking for. It's like he picked some of the heavier tracks that I sent him for the songs for this new record.
Cool.
So I'm really excited about it.
Wow. So what can people expect from your show coming up at Melodic Rock Fest?
Well. We talked about what we're going to do for House of Lords, we're not changing things up too much,
right?
Because we want to really prep for the new record when we come out. So we're not playing anything new until some pieces of the new record, like when the EPK is done,
right?
Which we're filming the EPK today.
Cool.
But we're filming the part of it, and then it's got to get sent to Frontiers, and then they'll include some of the tracks because the record's almost done. James has a real heavyweight, mixing it. Somebody really, that's got a really good track record, and I feel terrible that I don't remember the person's name, but his credit history is fabulous. I believe he's worked with Black Sabbath and a bunch of other people before I happened to look him up. And so once that's done, and then we're going to start deciding what we're going to play from the new record. Originally, I tried to get him to do a new song for just a debut at Melodic Rock. But then I guess he thought about it and said, let's just wait because I want to come out with a whole new thing.
Cool.
We're gonna go through. So we're pretty much gonna do. We don't have a real lot of time. We got. I think we're playing like a 70 minutes,
right?
Or 60, 70 minutes. So we don't have it's not like we had a whole boatload of time. We're gonna have to cut some things anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a great show. James not only sounds better than ever, he looks fabulous. He is so skinny now. He's lost all the weight that he had ever since he got sick with prostate cancer. He's taken such good care of himself. He eats totally healthy and exercises. He's like skinny like he was back in the early House of Lords.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
cool.
So he really did the same thing, and I did the same thing. Except I started before I found out that I had the cancer thing. So luckily I was already doing that. But certain things in life make you wake up and go, hey, you know what? I better start really taking care of myself here.
Definitely. Well, I congratulate you on both projects, and I can't wait to see you guys this weekend. I haven't seen you since I guess Rocklahoma when I met you guys out there.
Rocklahoma, and that was a sad state of that was like a weird part of my life too. There was had a lot of things going on, a lot of good things, but a lot of other things. I wasn't in 100% my right state of mind.
Right.
A lot of personal stuff going on at that point, and it was a tough time, but everything worked out great, and but that was a point where I want so bad for people to see House of Lords because James wasn't in his healthiest mode at that point at all,
right?
And now it's like a total 360, and I just can't wait for James's fans to see him again. I can't wait to go back to Europe and let his fans see what he looks like and what he sounds like. I mean, it's just wonderful. Cool. It really is. Brian, I can't wait to see you on it's only a few days away. I'm going to get to see you again. This is great.
Yeah, we're leaving tomorrow morning, and we'll be there. 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that. Hang out.
I'm really counting on you and I having some photos taken together. It would be really nice to see.
Oh, definitely, most definitely. So congratulations and best wishes. I'll see you this weekend. You want to say anything to the fans out there?
Yeah, I just want to say I thank you all so much for all the support that you've given House of Lords throughout the year. And I want you to know that the new House of Lords record coming out, you will not be disappointed. And there's plenty more coming out in the future too. The band is, you do realize, Brian, that this is the longest lineup that House of Lords has ever had.
Wow, that's cool.
If you look at House of Lords history, even from before we were in it, they changed band members like after the second record, and then they were changing members all the time.
Right.
We've been the exact same band for James since 2006.
Wow.
So we've got actually a 8-9 year history with him here going on. So this is really good. We really appreciate everything. We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody. Can't wait to see you.
Great. I appreciate everything, and congratulations.
Thank you, Brian. I'll see you Sunday.
Bye-bye.